Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel, or I should say your channel. My name is Monica, and I'm a veteran script supervisor. And today we're going to be tackling the dreaded subject of screen direction, or the 180 rule. And we're going to talk about what does it mean to be crossing the line. All right. I tried to explain this to my husband the other day when I told him I was going to be making this video, and he was thoroughly confused. So it took a while for him to understand, but it actually helped me to better explain it in a way that somebody who doesn't understand screen direction can understand it. All right. So that's what we're going to be tackling today. And this is kind of a beginning of a series of videos that I'll do on screen direction because there's a lot to know about it. But this one is just going to be covering the basics. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so the 180 rule or screen direction is the line that is drawn between two subjects in a scene. So for example, in this situation, I've got a cross section of two people from the top of them looking down on them. So I used a white dotted line to depict the imaginary line. Now, in a nutshell, you want to stay on, keep all your camera angles or setups on the same side of the line because then all of their looks are going to be correct. If you move over to the other side of the line or cross the line, then your eye lines are going to be uh, looking the wrong direction. So you want to stay on the right side of the line. You don't want to cross over the line, and that's what they mean by crossing the line. And when I first started script supervising, the way I was able to understand it better in my way, because I'm a very visual person, I imagined two people in a dark room. All right. And say, for example, that middle camera there was a really bright light and it turned on and it only illuminated one side of those two characters. Anything that you see on the dark side would be crossing the line. All right. So just the way I depicted it here with black on the other side, that's the dark side. You don't want to go to the dark side. You want to always stay on this side of the line. All right. There's ways of getting to that other side right now. But when you're doing just basic coverage, you always want to stay on that side of the line. Let me show you what these camera angles would look like if we had a picture in front of them. Okay, so here we have the actual visuals of what those cameras are seeing. Okay, so a camera is over the right shoulder of the woman and it's facing the man. So those little V's are basically showing the direction the camera is looking. So what a camera is looking at would be the man, and he's looking left, camera left, the camera's left, okay, to the woman. And then B camera is over his left shoulder looking at her, and she's looking camera right to him, okay? So if you can't visualize that, actually look at pretend that you're the camera and you're standing over somebody's shoulder and you're looking at the person. You say, oh, okay, well, it's looking at so and so, and then it might help you visualize it a little bit better. And say we had another camera, a C camera, on the man, okay, and it's on the other side of the camera. He's going to be looking camera left to the woman. All right. So let's take a look at what those pictures would look like if we had them side by side. Okay, so here are those two pictures side by side. And so A camera is the guy and B camera is the girl. Again, it's a little disorienting because you figure the A camera would be the woman who's standing there, but it's actually facing the man. So if you put them side by side in the top diagram, you'll see that the woman is looking camera right and the man is looking camera left, right? So they are looking at each other when they are talking. Okay, so now we have an example of B camera of the woman, and say we put the camera, instead of where we had it before, like A camera, we put it on the other side of the line. Okay, we crossed the line. Now what are we going to see? So if we put those two pictures together, we see the woman looking camera right and the man is looking camera right. So they're not going to be looking at each other. They're going to both be looking the same direction. So let's take a look at a couple of other examples of the correct screen direction and the wrong screen directions kind of side by side so you can kind of get an idea of what that looks like. Okay, so here's a scene from one of my favorite movies, When Harry Met Sally, when Meg Ryan is talking to Billy Crystal in the diner. And it's that famous scene where she basically tries to prove to him that women can fake orgasms. So anyway, I love this film in general, but I love this scene. So I'm not gonna play the dialogue, but I'm just gonna show you the angles of, because this is a good one to as an example. I'm just gonna cut pieces of it so you can see what it would look like if they would have crossed the line. All right. Okay, so in this example, you're going to see Meg Ryan is looking camera right, which is basically the same way that the other clip was showing. And on the right side, I basically just duplicated it and I flipped it. So you can see what it would look like if the camera was put on the other side, on her left shoulder instead of her right shoulder. Okay, so the diagram on the bottom shows where the cameras were put in this situation. Okay, so you can see she's looking right and he's looking right. Okay, so that would be the wrong screen direction. So that's why it's important to make sure that the both cameras are put on the same side of the line. Okay, so say you have more than two people in the scene, all right? Then you're going to basically treat it as if you were doing a play, all right? Say you're in the audience and you're looking at a play and you have two people on the left side and say three or four people on the right side, okay? You're going to treat it the same way basically as if it were just, two people. You got the people on the left looking right, and you got the people on the right looking left. Okay, so let's take a look at what that would look like. Okay, so here's an example of four people talking. Now, in a camera, now say this is a three-camera setup. All right, you've got three cameras rolling. You have a camera is a medium 4 shot. B camera is a medium close-up of John and Jane. And then C camera is a medium close-up of Mary and Bob. Okay, so this is the setup that you have, and they're all looking at each other. They're on the right side of the line, and everything looks good. What if C camera was put on the wrong side of the line? Let's see what that would look like. Okay, so here we are in the same scenario, but now we've put the C camera on the others on the wrong side of the line. Okay, so what's happening now? So the C camera people are now looking camera right, and the B camera people are looking camera right. So it doesn't even look. So they're not even looking at each other. They're looks like they're all looking at something off screen, camera right, instead of having a conversation together. All right, so this is the reason why it's really important to make sure that you keep the cameras on the same side of the line, because otherwise your eye lines are going to be way off. Okay, my friends, that's the basics of screen direction. Now, I know there's a lot more to cover in this subject, and we're going to be going over that in other videos that I'm going to be creating. But if you have questions about what I've covered so far, leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer it or maybe incorporate it into my next video on screen direction. All right, so for now, that's it. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. That really helps my channel and it lets me know that you are listening and you're liking what you're seeing. And that's about it. Okay, so we'll see you on the next one.